What's up, Combo Cabal? Brent Cook here, and I am joined today by the one and only TonyScapone. What's up, Tony?
Not much, man. Excited to jam some of this sweet, sweet deck.
Exactly. So we are playing Ruby Storm today. Tony is the first person to sign up for the donation decks through theepicstorm.com. So Tony, thank you, by the way. Huge fan of what you're doing here. I do like the card Burning Wish.
My pleasure.
Although I see there's
Yes.
no Rite of Flames in this list.
There are not. You see anything else? Notice anything else missing?
There's a card that's usually in Ruby Storm that's not in this. Is it bonus round?
It might be. I think that's the one.
So Tony, why are you not playing bonus round?
For me personally, in my own experience, I mean, often it's touted as a card that can power through counter magic, but really, I think against someone who has played against the card or is familiar with or advanced with the way that interactions work in Magic, um, they'll realize that their first counter is doubled. And so, generally how the line goes is you cast the ritual, probably multiple, to cast your bonus round so that you have additional mana post bonus round
Mm-hmm.
to then cast your action spell. The idea is obviously, and this is your engine. Bonus round is an engine card to me where you can get, if you've ever played against it or seen it, it just can go off, right? And your spell gets doubled. The problem with that is, like I said, if they let the trigger resolve first, when they counterspell or force a will or even just daze, if you're not playing around to daze, it gets doubled and they just counter both copies. So then you also, not only do you need multiple rituals and the bonus round and the action spell, you now need the second action spell, right? And say you're playing against a deck with permission, now you're still, even in that case, losing against force plus days, right, or double force. Which, listen, that's how a lot of combo decks work. Do they have it? Do they not have it? Force check. These days, generally, I feel like it's stronger to be able to beat one force, right? And it's a matter of, do they have the double force? Um,
So Tony, I'm gonna pause
and
you. You're going down a
sure,
little bit of a rabbit hole right now, and I agree with you.
sure.
So bonus round to me has always seemed a little bit cute, and it can be a little bit win more sometimes. And one of the things combo players do when they build decks at first is they see the win more cards where you go way over the top and you make like I get it. It's really sweet to have like 500 red mana floating for Twitter screenshots, right? Like everybody wants to do that. Maybe we'll do some of that today without bonus round, but
Yeah.
like you said, it's a little bit win more, and it's really bad against counter magic. Well, Tony, I've noticed you have 4 copies of Bergie instead of bonus round. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I could go down, 3 times as many rabbit holes on Bergie, but the card is exactly what this deck needs. It's busted in half. The big difference with a card like this, as opposed to bonus round, is in that situation. Excuse me, where you're using up all these resources to go off, and your opponent stops you, whether it's counter magic, discard, whatever it may be for disruption. The idea is that we have a permanent in play, right? So we are not entirely exhausted of resources and we can go again the next turn. This card certainly fits that bill. It's got 2 sides where one is, a mana piece, not just the mana piece, but an engine that can go alongside a Ruby Medallion or other mana engine. And then, of course, the backside being an insane card engine that I mean, the number one thing we're doing with the backside with Horn is hopefully pitching Echo,
I can't wait to do that.
or oh my god, it's so good. And then drawing 7, right? So we get 2 cards right off the bat. We don't even need an LED to put it in the yard. We get 2 free cards off of it, and then we draw 7. So now we have 7 more looks, and then we can choose to flip those into 14 more.
Exactly. Plus, like, I love the synergy with Ignite the Future as well. Like, that's really sweet. But I did notice there's a flashback card missing from our main deck. Where's Past in Flames?
Past in Flames. Not in the main deck, but certainly in the sideboard. As I'm sure you figured out, at this point, there's a lot more permanence, right? And Past in Flames is not going to flash back your Chrome Mox. It's not going to flash back your Petal, your LED, your Opal, which is a large portion of our mana sources here.
I have some
The deck,
experience in that department.
right? In fact, I don't believe plays Past in Flames at all.
Not anymore. AJ
Right.
Kerrigan was actually the pioneer of trying to get us to cut Past in Flames in our Chromox deck.
Right. It's tough. I mean, you can always justify it, right? There's always those sweet situations that you were in that make you want to still play the card. I do, however, think there are enough situations that arrive frequently enough, often enough, where the card is absolutely still worth playing. Just in the sideboard, not in the main deck.
Yeah, so what concerns me about Past in Flames a tiny bit is the only cards in the deck that make mana with it are Manamorphose, which is kind of low impact. Seething Song, which would, obviously be great, and then Jessica's Will. By the time that Jessica's Will is flashing back, I'm not expecting them to have a whole lot of cards in hand unless you've already played an Echo of Aeons to refill that turn. But anything's possible,
Yep.
And I do like that synergy, by the way. On the combo turn, refilling your opponent's hand, they have a grid in play, or you have a grid in play, so they can't play anything, and then you Jessica's Will for 7. Like, that seems really awesome.
Yeah, that's something that people forget with Jessica's Will. It's not just a turn one thing. You draw 7 cards, all of a sudden it becomes an outrageously large ritual again.
Yeah, so Tony, you've said this a few times, and I just want to come back to it. Your list is very permanent based. Like, it's almost like it's Red the Epic Storm between, like, the Chrome Moxes, the Opals, Grid. Like, you definitely share a similar package with TonyScapone's The Epic Ruby Storm. I believe that's what it's called, correct?
Yeah.
So
yeah, the Epic Ruby Storm.
why don't we start at the top a little bit? Like, Ancient Tomb. I correct me if I'm wrong. This is obviously here to power up Defense Grid and Ruby Medallion.
That, as well as some of our most busted starts being, Ancient Tomb into either Petal or Chrome Mox, basically to get us up to that 3 mana to cast our Jessica's Will for 7 or multiple Seething Song. Combine that with there's a fairly high percentage of turn 1 peer lines with this deck. I don't know. I haven't played TES enough to know like how frequent that line is with that deck, but I'm pretty sure we do it more consistently in this deck, which is pretty cool and exciting.
Yeah. I don't know the number off the top of my head. I'd have to look, but I guess it's not very high. I certainly don't use Peer more than I use Ad Nauseum or whatever. So
Right.
this is interesting to me. Fiery Islet it makes a blue mana, which is kind of cool for flashing back Echo of Aeons. So outside of flashing back Echo and just like value drawing a card, what is Fiery Islet here for?
Right. I mean, obviously, like great if you it lowers the chances of top decking a land. You get a redraw, but really, the deck often winds up with virtually infinite mana, and often enough, we have not made a land drop in that scenario. So you kind of have to train yourself to not make a land drop if you don't have to, because when you're either drawing your entire deck or half of it or 20 cards or whatever, you oftentimes wind up in the scenario where you have that a ton of mana, you don't have a land drop, and you are reasonable chance to draw into it as a one of. And not only is that obviously going to give you 1 extra card, but if you have Horn in play, then that's potentially 2 cards and overall 3 looks, if you're looking for something specific.
Okay.
And yes, it's just a kind of added bonus that does tap for blue.
Question: have you considered playing more than one for like the reasons that you just described? Like, could 2 be the right number?
It absolutely could. I just haven't tested it yet. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the things I've been meaning to test.
So if it's okay with you, I think we can skip over most of the artifacts here. Like Defense
Mhm.
Grid, obviously, it's one of the better protection spells you can play in a mono red deck. Um,
Especially with Ancient Tomb, yeah.
and I'd like to call out a lot of people, including myself, love the card Overmaster. Overmaster doesn't protect Ruby Medallion, and more importantly, in a list like Tony's, it doesn't protect Horn. Harnfeld Horn of Bounty. Overmaster does not protect. So if you're not playing a bonus round style list, Overmaster doesn't make a lot of sense. I know it's talked about in a lot of Ruby Storm videos. Doesn't make sense here. So I am a huge fan of Defense Grid, especially
Oh,
when you're running effects like Echo.
yeah. It also only protects your very next spell,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously with a deck like this, it doesn't give us Metalcraft, which Defense Grid can help towards.
And then we have Burning Wish, in my opinion, the best tutor in Legacy, which gives us this very robust wish board. So
Yep.
we'll come to the sideboard in a second, but I just wanted to talk about my love for Burning Wish mostly. All right, so then we have Manamorphose, which, believe it or not, Tony, I do know this. You're supposed to add blue mana with Manamorphose most of the time. And I say most because obviously it's not true 100% of the time. But you want to leave yourself, because we're so good at making red mana, you usually want to leave a blue or two floating. Is that true?
Um, I mean, generally speaking, we probably add red the most, but I mean, really, you're talking about scenarios in which we already have red. Basically,
Yes.
even if you have like one red, it's it doesn't always seem intuitive or obvious, but there's a lot of scenarios in which that's the case. It doesn't seem intuitive or obvious, but it absolutely is the correct thing. So I guess blue is the color that we're considering and thinking about the most.
Okay.
You don't want to fall into that trap of automatically making red.
All right, so this next card is a little bit controversial. Spoiler alert: Tony and I played a fun league the other night because Tony signed up for the epic tier of donation decks, and I wanted to work on this deck with Tony. And I suggested no Act on Impulse, and we tried that list out, and we did okay. We were playing 3 Echo, and ultimately we decided to come back to Act on Impulse just because 3 Echo maybe was too many. 3 could be right, who knows, but it was such a small sample size. But for this video, we decided for on 2 Act on Impulse. Tony, sell us on why we should be playing Act on Impulse.
It is certainly, I'd say, for most application, the worst piece of action spell in the deck. The short answer really is just that uh, we I have cut back mana more and more, and over time added more action. And the last piece of mana to go was Rite of Flame, and this is what we have
Rip.
left, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right. It's possible that in the near future a better action spell comes in. It would be the first to go if a better one did come. But I mean, to sell you, it's a draw 3, right? There's plenty of times where it's better than Ignite the Future. Although more and more I've liked Ignite the Future. But yeah, I mean, this deck reduces the cost and makes it a potentially 1 mana draw 3. And we need a certain density of those effects for this deck to function, because when it comes down to it, we're really only running 4 deterministic action pieces, right? All roads lead to Burning Wish, whereas like a deck like TES, it has it has the 4 Wishclaw Talisman. It's got a main deck tendrils to go get with that, and then on the flip side, it also has the Burning Wish, so it's got a little more to work with. Whereas we gotta spread more action throughout this deck to allow it to function and
Okay.
not fizzle.
So Jessica's Will, we've already talked about Bergie. Jessica's Will does the same thing, except it's also a pseudo super Seething Song. So it's
Mm,
essentially if Act on Impulse and Seething Song had a kid, right? Like it's just
sure.
insane. And in fact, I
Yeah.
think if you could play 8 Jessica's Will, you would. Am I wrong?
Yeah. You were not wrong.
So I think that covers these cards. Ignite the Future. So those of you might not be aware of this. Ignite the Future is not the same as Act on Impulse. It has the light up the stage effect built into it, where you can cast those cards until your next turn. They do not go away at the end of this turn, so you get a full turn cycle with these cards, which is pretty sweet.
Mm.
And then on top of that, it flashes back for 8, so we talked about how it synergizes with Bergie. Obviously, it's great with Lion's Eye Diamond. It even gives you 3 mana towards flashing it back, but you can play the cards for free. This is also true if you flash it back with Past in Flames, so don't forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Echo. Tony, this is a card that I believe, didn't mean to cut that, that I believe is unique to you inside of Ruby Storm. How did you decide on playing Echo in the mono red deck?
To be honest, it's very surprising to me that people haven't played it. I mean, just watching and playing TES is pretty like instantly what had me running this card. Even I think literally the first list that I built when I first jumped into this deck, um, I was watching. Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. He's a huge freaking streamer.
Caleb Durward?
Yeah. There you go. He's the man. Great content. Me forgetting his name speaks nothing to the, But, anyways, so I just grabbed one of his lists to, we'll try it out, have some fun, have a blast with it. But I did make a couple of tweaks, and like one of the first things I did was put Echo in the deck because for me, I mean, if you're not playing LED, then actually I'm probably still playing it in some capacity somewhere. But if you're playing LED, absolutely got to be playing this card, right? In the sideboard, it's just to me, it's a no-brainer. Burning Wish becomes oftentimes just an Echo. You got Burning Wish, you got LED, 2 mana, on top of the LED, boom.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more powerful effects in Legacy. So I believe that wraps up the main deck. This is a black card in our sideboard. Do we need Tendrils of Agony? Like, couldn't we just grape shot every single game?
It's a good 2 questions, actually. And just to be a little bit transparent here, I was even kind of bouncing it off of Brian. In fact, both of us have asked this question to each other in discussing this deck. So I think the answer to that, at least in my own mind, is not yet decided. Especially because, and not to jump forward too much, but at the moment we're on 2 grape shot. So I can't give a clear answer to that. I can tell you I do cast it a lot, but who knows? Maybe the future of the Epic Ruby Storm is not running it.
Well, I like the black card next to it 10 times as much as I love Tendrils of Agony. Peer into the Abyss. Like, what I like about your list, Tony, is that you took some of the strongest aspects of TES and brought them over to Ruby Storm. Like, it doesn't make sense why people aren't running Peer into the Abyss or Echo. These cards are bananas.
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Again, this is yet another card that I have run from the start of things and have been shocked that, 1, people weren't running it before me, and 2, that maybe people just forgot. And, I've been casting it a lot on Moto, and maybe it would, but I'm still getting at least some pushback about it. I still don't get it. It's bonkers. You draw half your deck, you win. In fact, if you have a Horn in play, you get to draw. We should play 100 cards in our deck, so actually doesn't matter because
you could
draw
play
half,
Yori
and then
on
you
Ruby
get to,
Storm. Have you considered that? You could blink your Chromoxes.
We could. No matter how many, I'll put it this way, no matter how many cards you have in your deck, if you peer, you get to draw half of them. And then if you have a Horn, you can just flip those over and draw more than the rest of your deck, regardless of how many.
So your deck does have some built-in ways to beat, I'm going to use air quotes here, Tony, draw effects. Because while Peer and Echo draw, Bergie, Jessica's Will, and Act on Impulse can beat effects like Narset or Leo, which is pretty nice because they're not actually drawing cards.
Yep.
So I do enjoy that quite a bit. Which brings us to our next slot, Lightning Bolt. This, in theory, could kill a Leovold, but I think more importantly, it kills things like Gaddock T, Collector Roof, Thalia, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
What are there any other applications that Lightning Bolt's really here for?
I mean, it can kill the opponent, right? Um,
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
it really is though. I mean, for a while in the past, I've run a chain lightning, and it comes up a fair amount. Maybe saying a fair amount is a little too much, but it comes up enough where it's relevant. A line where you can't kill them with tendrils. You certainly don't have enough to kill them with grape shot. Or no, I'm sorry. You don't have the black for tendrils, and you don't have enough storm to kill them with grape shot. But you can chain lightning them and then grape shot them. So
So
it's not for nothing.
normally you might be asking yourself right now, why aren't you playing a chain lightning over lightning bolt? You are a burning wish deck. We're gonna skip over shattering spree. It's pretty obvious why spree's here. Tony, we
Yeah.
have double, two shots.
Mm.
That is why we're not playing chain lightning. Tony, tell everyone watching, listening, enjoying, why are we playing two grape shot?
One of the big reasons, I mean, this initially came up because Bryant and I were discussing some of the problems the deck had, and one of the major issues. I don't even want to say this. Why would I want to broadcast this? A weak point? Can we just skip over this?
I think we should tell the listeners, watchers, etc., why we're actually running two grape shot.
No, we should just say never mind and just moving on. Okay, so if we don't have a win con in our main deck and we get our Burning Resurgical, we are screwed. So I was winding up in this situation where I was like, we have to bring in one of our win cons, but I don't want to take Grape Shot out. Also, there are some overlaps where um, not only do we want to be bringing in another win con, but the Grape Shot is just fine in our
It's
main deck.
removal.
Like, exactly. And there's enough overlap of those two things where um, as soon as Bryant said it, he's like, "Why don't we just run two grape shots?" And I was like, "Oh,
I could see the light bulb click in Tony's head. It was amazing.
yeah, yep,
When Time Spiral came out, Grape Shot was the card I was excited about. I didn't care about Empty the Warrens. In hindsight, I probably should have cared about both, but I was just like, yes, this Grape Shot card is bananas. Like, that's the card that I was thrilled with.
yeah."
I don't think that's ever stopped, 15 years later or whatever, but the card's amazing. We have Empty. I feel like Ruby Storm, similarly to the Epic Storm, doesn't actually empty as much as it used to. Is that true?
Yes, which uh, it seems counterintuitive, but makes the card better. The less the card is cast, the better it is.
Mm-hmm. We covered Past in Flames already. Reforge. So this is a card. I'll be honest with you, Tony. Until I played the deck, because I've done a few Ruby Storm donation leagues recently, one of which was yours. So thank you again.
Mm-hmm.
When you're running Echo of Aeons, three of them, and then Peer into the Abyss, it seems like Reforge doesn't come up that often. Like you're just playing a more expensive, worse version of Echo, or like, you know, uh, poor man's Peer into the Abyss. I thought
Mm-hmm.
that. And then I've played the deck a bunch, and there are situations where you're on all red mana, and
Yep.
Reforge is just really easy, especially when you have Ruby Medallion in your deck, because like Reforge, you can have no hand, top deck Burning Wish, and you're like, oh, that could be a 3 mana line or a 4 mana line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
And
just
also,
I don't know.
uh, not for nothing, but it's really nice to be able to see what deck they're on game one, and people don't even people don't always they want you to kill them, right? They don't scoop. And if you have a horn in play, it's pretty free to reforge the soul. If you have virtually infinite mana, you have access to it, and you're going to draw 7, and and you have a grid in play. Like if they let you do it, you can just discard their whole hand and see exactly what they're on. Because if you kill them turn 1, have no idea what they're on, it's certainly a disadvantage.
Yeah, definitely. I have been known to cast Thoughtseize out of the board a few times just for a peek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we get down to the end of the sideboard here. We have two copies of Defense Grid. We have two in the main. This is just more blue protection, right?
Yes.
And then
Yep.
this is a card I couldn't wrap my head around. Tony had to explain it to me like I'm five. But basically, this is an answer specifically for deafening silence that can be used the same turn. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's its primary uh reason for being in the deck, almost entirely for that.
And I was pretty anti EE if I'm being honest, because I was like, you're a mono red deck, you can't answer Thalia or like Canonist or whatever. And Tony was kind enough to point out that with Opal, Petal, Fiery Islet, Manamorphose, or even Chromox Imprinting Echo or Morphose, you can get that second color. And
Hmm.
that's just something that didn't really dawn on me if I'm being honest. So I think I do like EE a little bit more than I used to.
Well, plus the other consideration that you were speaking of and that people often run, and that initially just on its face, with I would imagine not thinking about it all that much, um, seems to, they seem like they both serve the same purpose or work the same. But like you said, engineered explosive kills it on the turn that it comes into play. Not only that, you can it's a Rite of Flame. If you have a Bergie in play, you can cast it for 0 and get red. Um, it turns on, well, so does turns on Metalcraft, but for less mana. It's free. Like, you can play it and get your Metalcraft. Who cares if you're getting Metalcraft? If you're having to cast or spend 2 mana to do it, right? I mean, it's not for nothing, but it's all around, in my mind, better than Ratchet Bomb.
Yeah. So
And
Tony,
actually, it's worth noting because people say, well, with Ratchet Bomb, you can kill Chalice on 0. You can also kill Chalice on 0 with explosives if you have Ancient Tomb.
that is true. We're going a little bit long. We're almost 30 minutes on the deck tech. So why don't we start playing some Magic? How's that sound?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right. And then before we start that, I did mention donation decks. You can visit this URL, theepicstorm.com/donation decks, to sign up with your own deck. You can see that Tony signed up here for the Epic tier, where I work with you pretty closely on your deck. We refine it, and then you can even join me. So once again, that's theepicstorm.com/donation decks. Make sure to go check that out. We'll be back in just a second with match number 1. All right, round number 1. Tony, we're facing FlyingWhales. I faced them earlier on today, actually, and they were on Maverick. I know that we're playing these extra bolts and EEs in the board for Maverick, so hopefully those come up.
Yeah, that'd be
Ooh.
nice.
Tony, I think I'm going to make the executive decision here and mulligan this hand. Hope you're all right with that.
Brian, I'm sorry, I cannot see the match.
Ooh, let me fix that. Sorry, Discord for the desktop for Mac. You have to share each window, and it's a weird audio capturing thing with Tony. But basically, I have to use the desktop app in order to get the guest audio. Um, it's
No
strange,
problem.
but Tony should be able to see our screen now.
I can see it now. Yeah, this hand, this
uh,
hand's. What are you talking about? This hand's fantastic.
yeah, we're gonna ship that. Oh, we've opened up Tony's favorite thing. Turn one Jessica's will.
Yes.
Uh, I think we're gonna
Got it.
bottom the grid here. Is that okay?
What is it? This opponent usually on? I
Maverick.
think you, Maverick. Yeah, yeah.
They've mulliganed, so Jessica's will did get a little bit worse.
If this hand had an LED, we'd have a turn 1 pier.
So right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, the best thing we can do is MD for 8 on turn 1, assuming they keep 6.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, it's either that or Reforge with no land drop and no
We can't
nothing.
cast Reforge because this makes 6.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
So if it's cool, I
Yeah,
think I'm just going to empty.
yeah. I don't think they can beat that game 1 anyways.
I love the idea that we're just messing with our opponent's head because earlier today I got them on Black Belcher and now they're getting Red Belchered. And now we get empty. Next turn, I think we probably just go get like Grape Shot. I don't know if you have another idea.
No, I mean, as it stands, that's we'll we'll see what we draw, but
Maybe this is 4-color alum now. So we both switch decks.
ooh. I'll do my best to not say the card that we would lose to.
All right. Well, it wasn't Athalia. Ooh, that's a big blocker, though. I would like to draw a card that's not in our deck. Right of Flame.
Apple's not great, but that's okay. Yeah, I think we still play that.
I think we still go to get Grape Shot here.
Grape Shot, yeah.
And I think we just Suicide a Goblin.
Sure.
Hopefully these 7 will be enough. I'm a little concerned. Another blocker actually becomes kind of an issue.
So your screen just went to the like the Epic Storm logo. Oh wait. The stream is ended.
All right. So Tony should be able to see again.
Okay. Yep.
Hopefully that's not a recurring issue. Our opponent hasn't done anything, so it's not a huge deal. We'd obviously love to draw like a Manamorphose. That would be one of our better draws.
Sure.
Jessica's Will would be interesting because I think we'd have to decide which mode we want.
Right. Even like Ruby Medallion would be nice.
Your favorite card, Gaddock Teague. All right, so here's an interesting thing. We can swing with 7 and make them think that, like, if they block with 1 each, we get to just Opal Grape Shot. If we just cast Jessica's Will right now, I think we're going to need to hit a number of things for them to be good. So I think we're supposed to attack first, and they just take 5.
Some for 5. Yeah, I would attack first. Is that combat math? Is that what just happened?
I do combat math all the time now. In like 2013, I missed the top 8 of an SCG because I couldn't do Goblin math, and I made it a point to play a lot of limited to get better at it.
Hmm.
All right, so they fell for our trap.
Excellent.
Okay, so now we can even save the Jessica's Will, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And they can't activate Reclaimer. But I guess if they had a crop rotation, we could actually get hurt here. But
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
we're
the only
supposed to
thing.
play around that.
Nice.
All right, so the job's not over yet. We still have a little bit more to do.
We also have a second Grape Shot.
That is true. Oh, they're
Yeah,
on the
boy.
green-white depth deck. Another Jessica's Will. I think we just attack here.
Yep.
They'll take 4, and they'll go down to 3. So
I think-
next turn we're representing lethal.
I think it's worth throwing out a value. Yeah.
And we're going to use the Act on Impulse ability here.
Mhm. We're looking to get at least a replacement card.
Or 12.
Yeah, it's possible.
All right, so we found a land. Unfortunately, these other 2 are uncastable, so those are going to go away.
It's okay.
Our life total is actually pretty low.
Yeah.
We're down to 9. So if our opponent draws a blocker here, we have to start worrying a little bit. So this Windswept Teeth can get Dryad Arbor, but by searching, they go down to 2 and they would still die. So they had one
Right.
draw step here to draw a blocker. Burning Wish. I feel like these long pauses sometimes are people hoping that you click through your turn because they made you wait so long. I'm not saying that's what our opponent's doing, but
Mm.
that's what often when I'm thinking that they're just taking these like deliberately very long pauses.
It happens to me. Ooh, if I'm low on clock and they start doing it to me, I'll oftentimes misclick. Crop rot. Okay.
So this is a spot where they can get Merit Lodge,
Mm-hmm.
activate it. So they ripped crop rotation here because they didn't have it last turn, and now
Mm-hmm.
we're in trouble because they're gonna block and go to 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Android Arbor.
So they
Not
can't
sure.
use Pride Mage anymore.
Not sure that was necessary, but all right. So
We stand a shot, so we can activate Ancient Tomb, go to 7, Ruby Medallion, Jessica's Will for the Act on Impulse ability, and hope to hit
yep.
like an insane Jessica's Will.
I mean, LED and some action will be pretty high chance to get there.
Uh,
LED and no action. Okay.
Unfortunate. That was a nail biter.
Yeah, it was.
We're not going to make them attack. We're better people than that. So we did not win game 1 with the Epic Ruby Storm. It was close though.
Yes, very.
All right, so it's green white depths. I'm willing to bet that they have deafening silence. So I think we're supposed to board in
Yep,
the explosives, bolts, and then grape shot. Let me know if I'm wrong here.
possibly.
That's my guess.
Those are the cards that I would pull out, and then I would start deciding what to
I think
what
we
to
could probably
remove.
shave the defense grid, so those don't really seem like they're needed. And then you have a lot of cards that are all vital to the deck. Tony's probably going to disagree with me here, but I think you can probably cut Act on Impulse. We're bringing in a number of cards, so my gut would be Act on Impulse and then one artifact. If I had to pick,
Yeah,
it'd probably be Opal.
if it were me, I'd cut a Chrome Mox and an Opal and one Act on Impulse. It'd just be one difference
Okay,
because
we can
it
try that.
mitigates the issue of collector oof,
Okay,
albeit a small amount. But
well, let's do it. And while we wait for our opponent to join us, oh, I don't get the shill, but I'll do it really quickly anyway. TheEpicStorm.com/shop. Go there. Okay, we're back for game 2. Um,
hmm,
how good is this hand? I don't know.
it's tough. We have two lands that are wasteland proof. We have our answer to probably the scariest thing, but I feel like we're just gonna we're gonna they're gonna drop multiple lock pieces before we can really do anything. I'd rather I think I'd rather mull to a more aggressive hand.
Okay. I think that this
Yeah,
hand is pretty good.
excellent.
So what would you bottom here? I think my gut says Opal.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Yep.
you agree?
Yeah.
And I think that we just go Tomb Ruby Medallion. Next turn,
Because
Manamorphose, play Horn, discard Echo.
yep. And we're not even like we're in okay shape if they go deafening silence because we're very close to just dropping a horn, in which case we're reasonably expected to find our EE.
All right,
We would just
Ruby.
we want to get the horn down before Teague.
I don't know why you said it out loud, Tony. There's one
Ah, I
rule
did
when
it.
you play combo. You don't say the card names out
I,
loud.
I
There's
told you
one rule.
I was gonna try not to. Try.
Are they going to force a figure a Ruby Medallion? They're pausing for a long time. Then again, they paused on her upkeep for 2 minutes.
Right. They may very well. The card is quite good.
I hope that we draw LED for turn next turn because that would be the not or off the Morphos because then you can play Horn into Echo Flashback immediately.
Or off the flip.
Yeah, so
When
we
you
have
discard the
5
horn.
looks at LED, I believe. Draw
Pretty
Step,
good.
Morphos, Bergie. So 4 looks. My bad. Ah.
Aw. It's okay. I would
Did we just pass? Yeah.
Yeah. You could play Horn, but I don't think it accomplishes that much. Good news is they don't have Deafening Silence.
Are we supposed to play Morphos here?
Thing is, if we don't hit... Well, I guess worst case, we can play Bergie at this point. So, yeah, I would.
And I think I'm just adding red because the blue mana doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Seething Song would be great. Jessica's Will would be great. Another Morphos would be great. Even a land, Petal, Chromux would be okay. LED would be fine.
This
even
person can never play blue decks. That one's pretty good.
Nice. Holy crap.
Boom.
Make that mana.
7 red.
Okay, 6 red.
Sure. For a second, I thought we were getting silenced there. Are we getting flustered?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
A little shocked by that.
Right? Okay.
Tomb? Let's draw Tomb.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
So, Tony, we do have an alternate win con that you may not have thought of.
Bergie?
The clock.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, I think we were just supposed to pass here. I don't really like playing out Petal for the sake of playing Petal. It turns on things like Force of Vigor. There's no real need to do that.
Sure.
Alright, so they're starting to build up their plan. They've used 2 crop rotation, so hopefully stage depths is less likely.
We have a lot of good draws. In fact, looking at our list, I can't find all that much that isn't good. That's fine. Oh, that's not fine.
That actually hurt quite a bit. We don't play anything like Pyroclasm. Well, I guess it's good that I guess what we could do is Grape Shot that make them sack 2 lands, one on Safekeeper, one on the Oof. I don't know.
1, 2. I mean, as it stands, we can't do that yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what we would draw, but
right. If I'm being honest, I'm still recovering from the flusterstorm.
right. I think we just pass here.
Yeah. We need a ritual or land. Preferably an ancient. Well, they have wasteland, but
I think we just want a mountain and then play the ruby medallion.
yeah.
Also, like Bergie's a 3/3 blocker. Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
Makes Lotus Petal into a red mana.
I almost wanted to play Bergie the turn before they played Oof when we drew the petal. But still leaves us with one mountain. Would have been awkward.
That's awkward. What do we do here? Is it just like discard Echo?
Yeah, why not? I think it's better than playing the petal.
This is certainly a tough spot. Was not expecting Flusterstorm.
Yeah, they got some blue in their list. You don't expect it out of Maverick style decks.
Well, this is, by the looks of it, this is just green-white depth splashing blue for, and I mean splashing apparently a heavy splash for Fluster,
Right.
Metal Image, into Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also an issue.
They name Burning Wish.
Yeah.
I can't really see it. Yeah. Yeah, I would just discard something. I wouldn't play out one of these. We want to save it for Storm.
Ignite the Future, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we're just in a really tough spot. We still have Bolt, but then again, so okay, sure, all right. Unfortunately, Tony, I think we lost match number 1.
Yes, we did. The irony
rough.
is we were just talking about how we both had difficulties with, well, I guess Maverick. This isn't Maverick, but it's got a lot of the same pieces that would take us down from Maverick.
Yeah. All right, match number 2 will be coming up. Okay, Tony, we had a rough round 1. We're gonna win this one. How do you feel about that?
I feel very good because I beat this opponent my last league that I played with this deck. So,
well,
let's do it again.
Don't tell me what they're playing because I don't know. But I would keep this hand.
I don't remember.
Okay.
My memory doesn't serve me all too well. What did
you
you say?
5 mana, Bergie, and Echo, and then this could tap for blue. Like, this hand's amazing. At least slow, but consistent.
Yeah, it puts a horn into play. It is resilient to Wasteland. It's steady. Slow and steady, right?
Yeah. So, Tony, I started playing Magic and Invasion, which is why I only use Invasion basics. I chose these mountains because they're lumpy, and as a kid, I thought it was incredibly funny.
Fun fact.
Yeah. Like, you'll never see a mountain as lumpy as these.
No. It's quite lumpy. Mm-hmm.
You could go Ancient Tomb Bergie. I don't think that's the right play. I think we're trying to put Horn into play. Harnfell. Horn of Bounty.
I agree. Otherwise known as the backside of Bergie.
Yes. It's all Bergie.
Mm-hmm.
The back of cards, like, no one calls it Insectile Aberration. It's still just Delver.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like that draw. What do you think
Nice.
here about Ancient Tomb to play
Uh,
around Pierce, or is that, or should we be more concerned with Wasteland?
um,
Probably Wasteland.
to Underground Sea,
If
Polluted Delta. Yeah. I'm fine with that. I have been seeing a lot of Spell Pierce, but
oh, undo. No need to tap that. Hey, that was actually a good draw as well because next
very
turn it allows our Bergie to be cast through days or Hornfell, whatever you would like
Horn.
to call it.
Yeah.
Are they on the
Yeah.
Epic Storm, Bloodstained Mire, Polluted Delta? Are we dead?
I think it's Doomsday. But I don't know. I think it's Grixis Control, which is fine.
Are we getting K commanded here? Because I will totally discard an Echo of Aeons.
They tap double blue. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Yes, 100% at this point.
Oh, they're doing us a favor.
Nice.
I still think the plan is to play Horn.
Oh yes, I would Seething Song, Horn.
Really? You wouldn't just cast Horn? Because if it gets forced, it's sort of a feel bad.
5, 2, 5, 6, 7. Well, that's a good point. But how many K commands are they playing these days?
Like 2. And they can't Snapcaster it back yet.
So what, you want a Horn and pass?
That's what I would do.
That's probably better. It's just we have an Echo in the yard. Like we have 6 chances, although that's not an argument for playing Seething Song first. We have 6 looks at LED. But if they didn't counter this, they probably don't have a counter. I'm not sure how useful this Opal is. It might be worth... it's a slippery slope, though. I've been in this situation where I go, oh, I'll flip once, and then
I think
you
we're
flip
supposed
something
to
that
pass.
convinces you to flip one more time, and then, yeah, exactly. By the end of it, you go, yep,
I'm
I should
passing,
have
Tony.
passed.
I'm passing. No,
Yep.
please forgive me.
No, I'm with you. That's the end of... That's where I landed by the end of it.
I mean, what are they going to do? Play a Jace against our Horn? Who wins that battle? Horn. Bergie is stronger than Jace. Jace is weak. Barely
100%.
lifts. You can tell that Bergie's jacked.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen that Horn?
Exactly.
Thing's huge.
All right, so I think it's pretty free to discard one of these ignites.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to not play a land early.
Wow. So,
Too late.
generally, I would pitch the redundant mana first. With those 3 cards, maybe like an Opal.
I just can't see myself casting it because discarding it gives you pretty close.
Sure.
Sure. How do you feel about playing grid here before discarding more? Like just tap Toon Grid?
I might Song and Manamorphose first. Because I want to Manamorphose to draw one more card and see what's going on. And it's probably pretty free to Song first.
But hear me
They're
out.
not going to counter the Song, right?
They might.
They didn't
just
counter
battle
Horn.
Nexus on mana. We can't.
Oh, we passed after. Okay, yeah. I'd go grid.
Okay.
And we're in. Song it up.
We also have 5 cards in hand, so Jessica's Will could be another Seething Song if we need it, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
I mean, we're like 99.9%.
Oh, I thought that I double blued there. Apparently I clicked red once.
It's okay. We only need the 1 for now. I'd pitch the Mountain, yeah. Pitch the Opal.
It is a blue, but how do you feel about... Oh, no, please don't cast that.
Play out the LED.
I feel like we're actually supposed to cast the Seething Song just so that way we can echo with a bunch of mana floating.
No, I mean we have 5, 8 total right now. We're gonna use 3 to echo because we have it right in the yard, and we still have our echo, so we'll have 5.
Okay, I'll discard.
And then we're gonna be flipping, effectively 14. You know what I mean? Either line, I think, is still 99.9% at this point. Just go for it.
I once discarded a Ruby Medallion to Horn, and I thought Tony was going to have a stroke. So I am not allowed to do that in this video. Like I could see Tony's like vein in his head popping out a little bit. Like, why would you do that? So I'm not allowed to discard Ruby Medallions at any point in this video.
That is not true. Of course you can.
Opal. No, my bad. I wanted to play Ruby Medallion.
I thought if you don't play bonus round, you can't make a ton of mana.
I did hear that somewhere. Oh, apparently I didn't need to click that. So we're actually getting a little bit low on cards. I don't know about you, Tony, but I think I want to echo again, just because I can. And in fact, I'm the one clicking, so I think we're gonna get echo again.
No, Brian, it's strictly wrong. You're gonna lose.
Like Horn with Ruby Medallion with Echo is just like bananas.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I enjoyed discarding those cards. I think I'll do it again.
Well, we finally found a Burning Wish. The only concern that I have is timing out, but I'd like to exile my deck first.
It's quite fun.
Alright, I suppose we can cast one of these Burning Wish cards. We could peer target them. Just throwing that out there, then add a bunch of mana with Jessica's Will.
But you missed the Grape Shot them to 1 and then peer them.
That is true.
The lethal peer. You missed the lethal peer.
And this Grape Shot is literally free because Bergie makes a mana and then it costs 1 less because of Ruby Medallion. And our opponent was not going to let us Grape Shot them and then peer.
Oh.
So despite our opponent having K Command, I do like Grape Shot here. Or not Grape Shot, Defense Grid. And yes. I would board in Grape Shot just so we don't lose to Surgical. Yep. But that means that we have 3 cards that need to leave. I'm not really interested in boarding in Explosives.
Nope, not at all.
You could board in Bolt for like something like Narset. I don't think that's where I want to be personally. So I have like 2 philosophies here. You can board out Echo trying to avoid something like Pyroblast, but I don't think that's correct. I would honestly, I think that you're supposed to take it a little bit slower. I would board out like 2 Opals and a Chrome. I like that Chrome is always mana, where Opal is like not always. Like your deck has more imprintables than TES. So
yeah, it's tough. I do the same thing, or very similar. I think I go with 1 Mox, 1 Opal out, and then 1 of the Act on Impulse. But this is arguably
if you want to
better,
do that, I'm down for keeping 1 more.
It's tough because you want to overload them on artifacts so that their K commands aren't quite as effective, right?
Okay.
It's not like by taking out the Moxes you're minimizing K command and hiding artifacts, but just taking out a couple pieces of mana, I guess.
I would keep this.
Sure.
We're gonna draw Lion's Eye Diamond anyway.
Of course. We have a turn 1 grid. Yeah, that's annoying.
We had a turn 1 grid, but maybe we'll get lucky and they'll discard Echo.
Maybe.
Also, who chooses that Thoughtseize art? Come on.
I agree. I'm not a fan. Although I will say the original one is significantly more expensive, right?
I don't know if that's true. I think they're like 10 tickets right now. They're actually pretty low.
Really?
Okay,
Ooh.
so does that change anything? We could just go get like a reforge.
You know, there was a point in the past where I was running looting in the sideboard, and now that we have more echoes, it might be a consideration. Just a quick thought. But
What do
we
you
do
think
not
about
have that.
going to get reforge here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, if we pull it off, it's pretty sweet to put echo in our yard. Yeah, sure. Don't really see anything else being fantastic in this spot.
I mean, what blue deck has ever had counter magic for our 5-drop? Like, they're
Right.
not going to have it.
I will say this is probably a spot that I'd get Shatter Skull Smashing for a land if we had it. Ew. What we should have done is gotten a Grape Shot, Manamorphosed into a card that we could play, and then Grape Shot at them, and then hope that they thought sees us to hit our
Yeah, that's
echo.
definitely the line. All right, so why don't we
Hey,
add blue here? I guess it doesn't hurt to add one red.
that's fine.
We could grape shot ourselves right now, or them. Um,
I mean,
I think we're supposed to sit on it just in case they play a Narset. Like, there's no point in
yeah,
hitting them for
because
2.
yeah, they're not gonna thought seize us. They know we have the echo. I mean, they're not gonna thought seize us if we play the Grape Shot. I mean,
Also, if we draw a Bergie/Horn, it's a card to discard.
mm-hmm. Yes, that is one of the major things with this deck that you have to always be thinking of. Yes, it puts its permanents into play so that they're not, in your hand and you can keep your resources around, but at a certain point you want to hold them in your hand for that reason.
Interesting that they tapped the Volk. Speaking of the devil, I think we just jammed the back half, right? No
Yeah.
fear? I mean, they haven't played double cantrip or anything. But I
Hopefully
think
they have
realistically, this is the best line.
nice fluster, nerd. Oh,
Pitching snap.
okay.
They're down to 2. I think we sit on the Morphos. I don't think we really need to cast it.
I think there's a good chance we cast it next turn, though. They draw, like, Ruby Medallion.
I would love to kill a pair of birds with this grape shot. Just throwing that out there. Like, they think that they're finally putting their clock into play, and then we just kill them both. So this is a sign that they don't have Pyroblast, by the way.
Yeah, well, again. And they're not even looking for it?
They probably just didn't board it in.
Maybe. Quite possible.
Alright, do we start on the Manamorphose?
Yeah, sure.
I think we just had red here. No reason to add blue.
Yeah. Okay.
So, looting would be pretty good right here. Just like I wasn't thinking of it until you said it. What about just going to get Act on Impulse?
Oh, right, we have one of those. I can't really see our board with what I'm looking at here.
I can
I don't know
try
if
to
you can
make it a
make it a
little
little bit
larger.
bigger. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Supersized. For Tony's old eyes. Alright, I'm just gonna pass.
Unfortunately, we have to leave their clock in play.
Well, good thing for us, we still have 19 turns.
I don't know.
I think we just pass.
Yeah.
Ancient Tomb would be a very welcome draw.
Yes, it would.
It does speed up their clock
E-
by quite a bit, but
even a mountain at this point would probably play Bergie.
you would play Bergie and not try to play Horn.
If we drew a mountain. If we draw a mountain, we don't have enough for Horn. You mean like still sit on it and
Yeah.
save it for Horn?
So that resolved, which
Cor-
tells me that they have K command. I think I'm just gonna pass here.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice part about this, if we somehow get to untap with grid in play, we can act on impulse because we can play Petal the turn on Opal, then we can act on impulse, and if this hits a land, we can play that land.
Or if they're silly enough to K command us and make us discard, then we can discard Echo and
17 more turns. And here's the K command. They just double time locked. We could hardcast Horn right here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I would do it.
I think we're supposed to
100%.
imprint the Grape Shot, by the way.
Yep.
Did you find another force? They did.
Yep.
Pitch force.
Pitch. Yeah, that's good.
We're still winning. Like, they're at 13, we're at 15. Things are going well. So, if they have a Snapcaster, they can snap. Well, they didn't force a negation, actually. They should have done that because they could force snap the force a negation.
Plus, they don't lose a life.
Yeah, but they still have Snapcaster K command if they want it. What is this? This is a Plague Engineer? Liliana of the whatever. No, another K command. Okay. Well, they did know that we had an active impulse.
They must have just drawn the K command because otherwise they probably, or maybe they still would have forced the Horn. I don't know.
Come on, Ancient Tomb.
So I think they usually have access to one more K command out of the sideboard, but either way,
they're flooding pretty hard
at
too.
most.
They had a pretty big land pocket. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna cast the Act on Impulse.
Sure. Probably at least get a land out of it, right?
Hopefully. Nope.
LED.
Ugh.
That's quite unlucky.
Sad. We're gonna die to like the 15 turn attacks of Baleful Strix. We had our chance to Grape Shot it and we wasted it.
Here's the Ruby Medallion. This is where things can get exponential quite quickly. If we hit any mana source and cast an ignite, I think we're
Yeah. We're looking to
fine.
fade a Snapcaster Mage.
Hmm.
Okay, we got to untap. Hey!
All right.
Alright, so I'm going to add blue-red.
Yeah.
Probably not
Might
using
as
the
well.
blue, but it doesn't hurt to add.
Right. It's free. An ignite.
This one will be triple mountain because we didn't hit any lands off the act.
Triple mountain. Maybe at least the fiery islet.
Oh, they have a counter.
Force
That's a
negation.
good one.
Ew. That's okay.
I think I'm
We
ready for
still
that
got.
that crazy Magic the Gathering card that people say like shouldn't be legal in Legacy. Something diamond. You know what it is?
Mox diamond.
Yeah, I think that's it. Let's draw Mox Diamond.
That's what we're hoping for. Yeah.
Or is it Fire Diamond? Oh, Narset. We knew it was a possibility. That's backbreaking. And they got
So now we
surgical
have.
off of it.
We got to find Burning Wish, or we have a Ruby Medallion in place. So our draw 3 effects are very good here. Horn.
What about we can't. This is tough because if we play it, they can sit back with Baleful Strix. They also have a surgical. Do you think that they're really going to surgical Bergie though? There's already two
Is that
gone.
what they revealed off of?
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably worth playing, right? It doesn't feel great. I think either is fine.
Well, we can't play the back half. That's the issue. We're also
Yeah,
already
not right.
slaying that.
Right now. Right. No, I mean passing. I wouldn't blame anyone for passing there. It stops their giant clock here.
I have to imagine that they boarded up
pummeling
Bolt.
us. Hmm.
Did not shuffle.
Shuffle. Incoming fatal push.
Come on, Justice Will. That's another card I'd like to see.
Ooh.
Oh, real funny deck. Real funny. Opponent plays a nurse set and now we draw a diamond.
I guess we hold. I guess we hold on to it, right?
Yeah.
We would have been able to cast Horn. Not that it would have been immediately great.
I mean, we're also stopping the Baleful Strix beats.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't do a whole lot here, but they might counter it.
Ooh.
Looks like they're sitting on the surgical. So our out to Narset is currently a Burning Wish, which it's a little dicey with the surgical still in their hand.
Yep. Well, hopefully we hit some draw 3 effects. Because they pretty much have to counter them. We have a fairly high density of them. There it is. Maybe play LED first.
Do we need to? Like,
do we get flustered? Nah. No, you're right.
no, like Fluster is a good point. Let's play the diamond. I wasn't considering Fluster.
I mean, it probably gets countered, but we have more draw 3 effects in our deck than they have. Well, they have snaps. I've been in similar positions oftentimes before, where they have to keep countering these. There we go. Okay, that's fine.
Actually, I can just pay. I don't need to
Yeah,
sack the
just stay
diamond.
with the mountains.
And we still have the Bergie trigger. I guess they're doing it with the Bergie trigger on the stack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try to put that on auto as soon as possible because people do let it slide all the time.
That's another fluster. If they fluster again, I'm going to sack the LED.
Ooh.
Really? They've
No,
been sitting on Snapcaster and they haven't used it. That's crazy to me. Also, they're burning 2 cards here to counter a Jusk as well when all they had to do was snap Fluster. Or snap Force Negation, I mean.
Hmm.
So, unfortunately, 5 is greater than 4. We cannot pay for this Jusk as well.
That's fine. We can keep our resources and go for it in the future. This Narset is rough. This is a matchup where Pyroblast has been pretty helpful.
Yeah. So it's worth noting that Tony was playing a few Pyroblasts in the board. Last second, we ended up cutting them for the bolts. We can board and bolt, which would have a very similar effect on this Narset.
Yeah, and we talked about that, but ultimately we decided not to. Wow, they can flash that back too, huh?
Which would put us to 5.
If we drop Burning Wish, we are golden. Oh.
Well, we knew
Okay,
that they
so
had the surgical. That didn't change.
Yeah.
So maybe for game 3, assuming that we don't get this one, we shave 2 more Moxen for 2 bolts. Is that crazy?
I don't think it's worth it.
Okay.
How many Narset do they play? You know?
If I had to guess, 2.
1 to 2?
I think it's closer to 2 than 1, but it's somewhere in that range.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, they're attacking. So that to me is almost a sign that they have Snap K command. No, they force a negation the ignite.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of, I think I'm just going to attack the Narset here.
Attack the Narset, yep.
If they have K command number 3, like, you got it.
Yep.
Oh. Surgical on Jusk as well. On the 4th Bergie? Why would you surgical Bergie? Sure. I'd actually love the Rapid Ignite. We still have 2 in the deck. I think it's one of our best draws. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We have 1 in the deck. So we have to pass here. A little surprised they didn't bring back Croxlaster, and maybe they forgot about it. Because like
really, any of the draw
threes.
threes. Any of the draw threes would be great here.
Yeah, they just forgot about Croxa.
That's awesome, obviously. I mean, we're getting pretty close to just lethal Burning Wish, or we have it if we draw or lethal Tendrils.
Assuming that it resolves.
Right.
I don't think I need to play this Ruby Medallion.
But why not?
Like, what do we gain? We're like, maybe we save that and then that gives us Lethal Storm.
Yeah.
Well, there's the second Narset. opponent has completely forgotten about Croxa. That card is dead to them.
Sounds good.
It
They
looks
whiff?
like they've whiffed.
Wow.
Oh, now that I said something, they've remembered.
And now we're gonna draw the Act on Impulse into the Ignite the Future. Into the double Burning Wish. What's nice is if you flip multiple Burning Wish into exile, it saves you from being surgical.
So I'm discarding the Seething Song because they know about it, and I think these cards are pretty similar.
Sure.
I think you're supposed to attack with Strix there. Hey!
What's the sequence here?
We start on Ruby Medallion because it will make this cost less and the Seething Song cost less.
Yep. And then we song. Excuse me.
And I guess we should play the LED for Fluster. We did see Fluster already.
Sure. So remember when you said you're never flashing back this card?
Well, this is also turn 21. Like, I'd expect by turn 21 you can flash it back.
Uh-huh. It comes up a lot, though.
Okay, I see you, deck.
Ooh.
We're going to add some mana here. I think we want to just as well try to find a defense grid.
Or another Burning Wish.
I'm going to do red because we don't actually have any echoes in our deck.
I don't think you have to do all those. Did you crack both LEDs?
I did. Too late. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, we're in.
Probably don't need to cast this, but I'm doing it. Like, you just can't stop me at this point. It costs 1 mana.
No, Brian! Act it up.
I'm here to cast cards and make mana.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Game right there.
Yes.
So yeah, it's free to try to find the grid.
That sucked.
We can't draw. No, well.
Oh, my bad. I forgot about that.
Sorry.
I mean, it's a mini ritual. It's fine.
What do you think about getting Past in Flames instead of Grape Shot?
Sell me on why?
What if they're an insane wizard that has Mindbreak Trap? I guess my question is it free?
Well, Past in Flames would also lose to Mindbreak. Just throwing that out there.
No, because then you can use your other Burning Wish and kill them. But if you get your Grape Shot... Actually, no, we have black. So we can just Tendrils. Okay, never mind.
Woot woot. We have defeated Grixis Control, Tony. We're 1-1. Tony. I have some bad news for you.
Uh-oh.
We are facing an opponent that I faced yesterday who was on the Epic Storm. I'm torn. Do I root for us winning, or do I root for the greatest legacy deck of all time? It's tough.
I don't know. TES has gotten better over time, especially once they started incorporating Ruby Medallion.
I think we keep this.
It's awkward, right? It does have the LED Echo. It has really high upside.
I'm keeping. So the way that I like viewing these hands is you're essentially starting the game with 2 permanents in play and Storm 3. Like, you take that, right?
Sure.
I mean, it'd obviously be better if we also had a Ruby Medallion, but...
We do.
I mean, not in play. Okay. And we get to force mold the opponent.
Spicy.
Our opponent said spicy to us.
Yep.
ignore my Mac dock. Ooh, they're not on TES. Ooh, gross. Death and taxes? I think we
Okay.
just jam medallion.
Yeah. What are they gonna do? Thalia?
Cards for losers. No one cares about that card. All right,
They're dead.
so they're gonna have 6 cards. We can Jessica's Will into Horn and then just go bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty free to maybe cast them more. Well, no, yeah, we might as well just make the mana. Make the mana. And
Well,
then I'd cast the Morphos before the Horn, right? Because they're free. See what they are. We'll likely flip them to Horn anyways, but
I don't like that this targets. By the way, that secretly bothers me because
Mhm.
if any of our opponents ever wisened up, they could shut that off with Leyline of Sanctity.
Yep, it's relevant for sure.
I mean, I don't want to make our opponents any more wise. That's not what I'm looking to do here. But ooh,
I would maybe make a couple black because
it's
there's.
awkward because if on the last one, if I should have made one block, because then we could peer if I drew Burning Wish.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is the mana worth the extra card here?
Yeah, I mean it's worth it to cast it, but I would probably just maybe Horn first, yeah, and then pitch the Mountain because we're bound to draw a Mountain off of
Well,
these
I've been told by
at
an
some point.
expert that you never play your land unless
Mm-hmm.
it's
Pretty
Fiery
much.
Islet. Like I've been scolded. Like that's what you do. So I'm not going to. I'm discarding the Ignite here. I like that just as well still infinite mana.
Mm-hmm. What do you
Um,
got here? Petal Grid. We don't
I think I
need
want to.
any of those really. It, I would cast the Act. Worst case, right? Yeah. Okay.
All right, can I make infinite mana with this one so then we could flashback Ignite?
Yeah.
And these cards we will be able to cast for free.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I would just use up the black. Yeah. We can echo for free. I would just make mana and then echo, right? Make mana with this Jusk as well.
yeah.
You might as well play grid first if you want to feel safe
Smart.
and warm.
Who doesn't want to feel safe and warm? I'm also going to play
Mm-hmm.
this Ruby Medallion because I can. Like I said, you can't stop me. I'm clicking.
Right.
I don't want to play the grid. That's a waste of mana.
Main deck Mind Break Trap. Get wrecked. Oh, they're getting that value.
Why didn't you? You could have done that in response to our Jessica's Wills.
Uh,
All right. So how about this? This is the game that we. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That we grape shot our opponent down to 1 and then peer them. Oh, come
yay.
on!
Oh,
No
it's
fun.
yeah, it's one of the hardest lines out there because
No one lets you do it.
most people. Yeah, exactly. Bring that in.
I
Got
forget
the
what we
bolts
decided. It
in.
was supposed to be like an act,
Um,
and then
they do play a lot of Mind Break Trap. When I
yeah,
was
they
running
played
2
two.
grids, I left them in. I think I've been just leaving 2.
But what do you board out then? Because we have so much to bring in. Can we board out that terrible act on impulse card?
It's certainly reasonable because they do attack our mana a lot.
All right. So now we still have 3 more slots. You could shave a Bergie, but I don't know if I like that. Honestly, I think
No,
the way that you beat trap is just by like double spelling. Like,
and I thought that too until like just kept losing to trap, because you wind up with these hands where you have to decide whether they have trap or they have deafening silence, and I feel like we can prevent from having to put us in that 50-50 spot.
all right, so we could probably board out these,
Yeah, I
and
don't
then we
love
need like one more.
just take Chromox.
A
A
third
lot of times
Chromax?
yeah, a lot of times it just gets hit by what's it called? Why do I always forget all the D&T cards?
All right, I'd rather board out an
No,
Opal. Like Chromax is always mana, where Opal we have to work for it, especially when we're already
yeah,
boarding out a Chrome.
I'm fine with that.
I still think we should be boarding out grids,
More
but
action. Oh, I've
like,
just gotten mind break trap too much in this matchup.
I mean, we keep
Wow.
this.
Do
Any
you?
land off the top is a turn one peer, or even a turn two peer, but that doesn't beat the white card that I'm not going to name.
I'll put it this way: if we weren't on the draw,
No,
or
you can't keep this
this
into
was
play.
game 3, or we were down a game, yeah, I wouldn't keep it.
Like I
I guess
always
if we
keep
were
this
on the
in on the
draw,
draw.
yeah, even if you're down a game,
Yeah, I don't care about that.
it's mm-hmm. So we're hoping to draw lands still. I mean, our out is obviously it's explosives, but getting enough mana sources to play Horn. Oh, you imprinted Bergie.
You didn't tell me not to. It's your own fault.
So I think getting Horn in play is realistically our best.
We're gonna go to
Although
game three.
they're gonna name it anyways. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Do we want to change anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm gonna be really mad if we open up a grid and I want it to be a Chrome Mox or an Opal. We're a mana off of Jessica's Will being good.
Mm.
Do we ship this?
It's awkward. It has to draw. I mean, it doesn't do it in turn 1, obviously. Yeah.
So
They
this is an
mulligan, which is
empty
good.
for 10, which beats Batterskull on the play. The only thing this hand loses to is a card we will not say out loud.
6, of course not. I would never.
Ooh. People are getting feisty in the Storm Discord. Ant is apparently cringe. You heard it here.
Uh-oh.
I would never say that about Ad Nauseam Tendrils. Never.
No.
So one thing we could do is pass and then hope to draw a land and then peer through Mindbreak. But I think we're supposed to empty.
It loses to Deafening Silence.
Yeah.
4 or 5. It's an empty for 10, which is considerably better than 8. Could also Echo or Reforge, but I don't think it's worth it. Yeah. That's what happens to me in this match.
Punished.
We're a jerk.
We would have had a turn 2 peer. We made the wrong choice.
Yep. I told you that's what it comes down to. You have to decide: do they have the trap or do they have the deafening silence? And I always choose wrong.
Well, like the thing is, they have two traps. Like every list has two silence, two traps, so it's 50-50, literally right down the
Right.
line.
Yeah. Except that for that opponent the other night who had 3 in play all at once, and then we blew him up with explosives and won. That was fun.
Oh, that's annoying.
Okay. I've got a serious clock going as well. Okay.
Now they're gonna put in fire ice. So we're taking 7. Next turn we're taking 7, 10. So if we tap the fiery islet, we're dead.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
I'm gonna hope
Son
our
of a
opponent
bitch.
can't count.
Imagine if we drew those in reverse. Ruby last turn.
Nope. Our opponent is a skilled wizard that knows how to count. 7, 10. Yep. Unfortunate. We are now 1 and 2. Womp womp.
See,
All right, Tony. Not the result we wanted to start this off, but I'm feeling confident again. How do you feel about kicking this person's butt?
oh, I'm in.
All right. This hand seems great to me.
Yes, it does. I mean, we can either echo and go up 1 card, but I think it's probably better to just play it safe.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the
We're gonna
idea
be
of Jessica's Will into Hardcast Echo next turn.
or even depending on what they're on, it could be Jessica's Will.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, they're done. They're
Well,
done.
I said, I mean, I was always going to cast this. Ooh, that was a good draw.
Ooh. Yeah, so now we can just Ruby Morphos Jessica's Will, and then I think it's good to Ignite and then LED Echo. Obviously, it depends what we're
That was
drawing here.
insane.
Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, you probably should have made blue with the Morph. Or
We
no,
can
we
play
had.
Horn.
Yeah. Opal makes mana
I think I should Jessica's Will.
for mana.
Yeah, because it makes
Yep.
it so we can cast
Sure.
stuff.
Mm-hmm. Then we play Horn. We pitch the Echo. I mean, this
This is
is
the
easy
dream.
sweet.
This is literally the dream. Sure, I
I'm
guess
telling you, most of the time in this scenario, I don't even wind up casting the Echo, which is sad. And here we go. Each one, I would Morpho, or yeah, it doesn't matter from here. Morphos, likely pitch whatever we draw. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See what you just did right there? Made the blue and then used it afterwards. I actually do that a lot. Because you want to make it in case, and then you draw something that makes you go, well, I don't need it.
The problem is I really want to Echo, but I don't think, like, I can win here. But do we want to win?
That's the question. You know what I want to do?
Well, you're not letting me cast Echo whenever I want, so
I want to grape shot them to 1, and then I want to peer them.
yeah. How about this? We come up a game where you let me Echo when I want to, and then we can take your grape shot line because you never let me Echo. All right, so we don't need. I guess they could have mind breaks, and like I think mind breaks were probably better than bolts, or the grids. I don't even think we board. I guess we could board
I
in one
don't
grape
want
shot
elves.
over one
Yeah,
grid.
because they have discard and surgical sometimes.
Let's try.
I would keep more grids personally.
I feel like most elves lists don't play Mind Break, but
Like I've lost to it a couple times
what are you
by
boarding
them.
out? Like I'm boarding out Act on
Such a
Impulse. Then I want the mana. It's a speed matchup.
uh, I want the action so that we don't fizzle. They don't have.
Can we please board out one grid? Just one?
But they were only playing one.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah.
If we get mind break trapped,
They don't have it. I can feel it in my bones. Sure. This is a turn one horn. Harnfeld. Or Harnfell. I've never said that card correctly. Harnfell. Horn of Bounty.
Right. I haven't even attempted it. I've read it and gone, no, it's Horn. Roll to 5.
Good thing we don't have Jessica's well in her hand.
We could play around Mind Break Trap by just playing our mana out and passing.
Yeah,
But then
just
we
playing a
lose
Force of
discard.
Vigor. Like I'm telling you, I don't see many Mind Breaks in Elves lists. But if you want to play around
Really?
it, we can. Ooh, that was good.
No, because then it plays into discard anyways. But they found, I mean, they went for Forest. Yeah, Ancient Tomb was great. Yeah, I would just go for it. Get him. Get him.
What do you think about just discarding now? I think it's probably safer to pass, but
It's
they could have oof.
yeah.
I think we go for it. Can we go for it?
Yeah, flip one. I'll probably flip the Chromux first though. Echo. Alright. Hopefully find an LED, that's what we really want.
This is getting dicey.
Yeah,
LED.
You might want to
LED. Shit.
Okay.
Sad.
It's alright.
I'll feel less sad if we get oofed. That really hurt.
Yeah, unless they oof us, we're good.
Can they not play another elf?
Nice. Alright, we have 4 mana and a horn. It's pretty good. Oh, son of a bitch.
I think we're supposed to
cast
discard it just because if you cast it, you're not likely to be able to cast anything off of it.
But I think we want the additional value this turn. Or I feel like we're
They're like
unlikely to die next turn, and it'll set us up better for the following turn.
I mean, they
I don't
could
know.
have roots on next turn.
If you want to discard it, go for it. I think they're both fine.
Ugh.
It's
You
okay.
win. You win. I
Good.
apologize. Should have listened
I
to the
mean-
master of the epic Ruby Storm.
It would have been a very similar result.
Turs.
And then if you play the epic Ruby Brainstorm, it's Turbs.
All right, so that you would have revealed the pedal.
Yeah, just we would have had 2 less life and okay,
All
draw
right, so
that.
here we have a back. Oh, we don't have Ruby Medallion in play.
Tap the.
We have a
would
back.
tap-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd tap the tomb, but it's probably not necessary at this point.
We have a backdoor grape shot here if we need it to pyroclasm them.
I mean, I think we're just getting Echo and pitching it to Horn, right?
That's also something we're. Oh, I can finally echo. Is that what you're saying? Am I allowed to cast echo?
Don't play that mountain though. I mean, at
The
this
other
point, I
night,
think
Tony would not let me echo at all. It was only there to look at. We might be able to. We're pretty close to Pier. They have one card. So 2 floating. So that casts Burning Wish. Yeah, we can peer.
7. You know what's funny? About half the time I find the pier line, I then go, wait a second, I can just tendrils them. And then it's like disappointing because I wanted to pier. Does that happen to you?
I don't play Ruby Storm that often, but when I
Yeah,
peer
but
in
with
TS, it's
TTS,
usually pretty intentional.
I guess TES doesn't wind up in as many scenarios like this where you just have boat loads of mana.
And we might. Oh, I didn't mean to play that. I wanted to discard that to Horn. I broke the cardinal rule. I played a land. Forgive me, Tony, for I have sinned.
Just don't cast the Manamorphose if you discard too many. We
Always
only
be
have 5
decking.
cards.
And I discarded that defense grid just to make you angry. So I have no intention of ever casting that in this matchup. Alright, we eventually need to play something that makes mana.
Play Opal, Petal, get a medallion in play, and then play some Seething Songs.
Oh, crap. I forgot. We still don't have a medallion in play. I just assume that you have a medallion 90% of the time. Too bad you can't get the Snoopy Ruby medallions online. Like they should intentionally have like the misprints online, or the peanuts, I guess you call them. Are you familiar with those?
Yeah.
For those of you that
Oh,
might not be,
the classic.
back in the day when they were printing all the medallions, they used a different printer that had been printing peanuts. So when you look at some of the medallions, they use the same press. So some medallions, depending on which ones they are, you can see faint hits of peanuts cartoons on them. They're really, really faint, but they exist. They're not worth much more either. Like a normal one of these is like what, $5? Those ones are like 20.
Okay.
The more you know. I'm gonna break another cardinal rule right now. I discarded a ruby medallion.
Oh no.
Can we draw the last card in our deck? Are we allowed?
The last one? Yeah, sure. What if we flashback our pier and drew it?
Do you want to? I mean, our opponent's not conceding. This could be the game.
What's half of 0 rounded up? Oh, you can do it. You can do it. Grape shot him. No, you
No, I thought you wanted.
can grape shot him and then pier him. But now you're gonna kill him.
No, we could still do that.
Oh right, because we can hit ourselves.
Oh, I can also hit an Allosaurus Shepherd.
That's also true. They're probably gonna concede. See, that's gonna upset them. You should have
No.
hit ourselves.
Well, now they're not dead, so why would they concede?
Because you hit their elf instead of us, so it would upset them and hurt their feelings and make them concede.
All right, so we're gonna hold control. Oh, my bad. We're gonna add black. This is for Tony. Hopefully they don't concede. Red.
I can't believe they haven't.
Get that Passing Flames card. Come on, please don't concede.
Come on, come on, come on. Get him, get him.
Killing the opponent with Peer into the Abyss. Boom!
Yes.
I still have not
Negative
got to cast
26.
Echo, but you got to do your thing. We're 2-2. Tony, all great things come to an end. This is round number 5. We're facing 2 plus 2 is 5. This person's not very good at math, so I have to assume we're going to win. We're on the play.
Excellent. If we so choose, as we
Um,
did, we got to ship this.
Yeah.
If it had a Mox Diamond, or a Mox Diamond, a Chrome Mox.
So if we... That doesn't work. I think we bought him 1 Chrome Mox, because we can still
Yep.
just as well on turn 2.
Mm-hmm. Do we play the Chrome Mox out?
I don't think
I think
so.
it's pretty bad if they discard it. But yeah,
I think if our opponent plays a discard spell, there's 0% chance they take Chrome Mox.
yeah.
If I had to guess, with a name like 2 plus 2 is 5, this person's probably playing Sneak and Show. Casting
That's
Show
fair.
and Tell requires a lot of math and a lot of skill. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess that someone this good at mathematics is playing Show and Tell.
All reasonable assumptions and conclusions. Hmm.
I think I want to imprint the Ignite.
I was gonna say act.
Well,
I
we
think
can
I'd
cast
rather.
Act next turn. We can't cast Ignite.
But aren't we? Are we casting Jessica's Will right
I was
now?
going to cast it for 7, Burning Wish for Reforge. We can do the Act if you want. It's just the fact that we can guarantee cast Act next turn if we get forced.
Right. Yeah. That's sure.
Super Seething Song.
I guess the only thing is if they force this Burning Wish, it would have been nicer to have Ignite,
That's true.
but they didn't. And it would be nicer to have Ignite in the yard.
You will resolve.
Yes!
Yes! It's resolving!
Oh. So what do we got?
They
So
discarded events.
you were correct. That's a Grizzlebrand, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious based on their name. They're on the blue-white version. I guess that's an Ice Fang. Nathan Lippett's version has a Venser in it, so this person's copying that.
Hmm.
Discarded a Show and Tell too. Get wrecked.
So I think we're pretty high chance to get a turn here.
Why did you say that out loud, Tony? We've talked about how you don't say
being
the bad things
optimistic.
out loud. It's
No, that
Combo
was
101.
It was optimism. I said we're pretty high chance to get another turn here. Right?
All those years of playing Delvers and Stifles have clouded your brain. So I think the plan next turn right now is Ruby Medallion, Jessica's Will to add 7.
Sure. See anything wrong with that? I like that they're still on 7 cards. It's always funny to think that and say that when you're playing against a blue deck with a combo deck. Like, nice, they have 7 cards in hand.
Ooh, song was good.
Ooh. Wait. Oh.
Why would you not cast it?
Well, the consideration is playing Seething Song first to play around Days.
Okay. That makes sense. I didn't consider that. It looks like they're considering forcing this.
Which is probably fine as long as I won't say it.
And they pitched an Omniscience. Or if you don't know how to talk, Omniscience.
Omniscience. That's all of the science.
Yeah,
all of it.
That's what it translates to. It's Latin for all of the science. Looks like we're dead.
Yep. Put it into play. No, stop it. Stop.
What was I supposed to do? not play Fiery Islet?
No. I was talking to my opponent. They're not stopping it though.
So they probably have Emrakul still in the deck, even though we discarded the Gristle. So
does that mean they can only get it? Oh, they got 2. Oh, they get an Ice Fang. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all of our permanents. So that's the ball game.
Yeah. Well, I do like Grid here.
Oh yeah.
I think that this is one of those matches where you just shave like that.
Yep. I'm in.
It's a shame we lost that after our sweet Reforge line.
I think really the problem was we didn't have Ancient Tomb.
On turn 1.
I mean, that would have been nice, but just even off the draw 7.
Yeah.
Because we had plenty of more gas, and we had another Ruby Medallion. I'm wondering if they would have countered the Seething Song had we led with that. Probably.
Right. While we wait, I haven't been chilling much this league. Once again, theepicstorm.com/shop if you want to support this great content, if you appreciate Tony being here, all that good stuff. And we'll shout out Tony's plugs at the end. At theepicstorm.com, we also have card singles. Make sure that if you're interested in getting cards for the Epic Storm or even a couple Ruby Storm cards, we do have Echo of Aeons and Rite of Flames. You can get those at theepicstorm.com/shop. And a reminder, this is a donation deck league from Tony. Tony signed up for the Epic tier. You can do that at theepicstorm.com/donation decks, fitting all of my shilling into one small ad right here. Make sure you go do that. And if you haven't already, please consider joining our social media channels. Whoops. You can find those in the description below. So open up the description for this video. All of our social groups are in there. Make sure to join those. Tony's a part of the Storm Discord if you're interested in that. If you want to pick Tony's brain about Ruby Storm, make sure to join the Storm Discord. All right. Enough shilling. Tony, it's game 2. Let's get it.
Get it. 2. So this is a turn 1 Ruby. That puts us in a very awkward position if they counter it. But
are we supposed to keep this? I feel like we are.
It's only one piece of action. The only problem is, like, first off, if it gets countered, we're kind of, like I said, in an awkward position. If it doesn't,
if it resolves, we can't cast anything on turn 2.
Right. Yeah, I'd mull it. Nice. Right. This is a turn 1 Ruby with an Echo.
I think you discard or bottom the song because if it gets forced, we still have Ignite.
Yep. Ooh, that resolved quickly.
Spin, 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 spin.
Come on and get it. Come on and get it.
Hey!
No! So it's nice having Tomb here, being able to play around days. As it stands, I think we lead off with Tomb Seething Song. Ooh, that was good. Yeah, Morphos. I'd make blue. Ooh.
Immediately rewarded.
Right?
I think we want to cast this.
Action with Jessica's Will.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we want to try to hit Grid here.
Wow.
Everything's coming up, Tony. I'm gonna
Mm,
play this as Bergie.
sure.
Maybe that was a mistake
Yeah, I'm not sure we have
because now we
enough
can't
now.
hardcast the Echo. We can still Burning Wish for
We can
Reforge.
reforge, yep. And then it discards the echo. I mean, ultimately, we probably just wanted to cast Horn so that we
No, this
could
line's
start.
more fun. We're going for fun here.
I mean, it's nice having the grid and making mana off of these.
Well, we can still. We're pretty close to flashing back Echo actually, because the Reforge makes mana.
Mm-hmm. That
So
would
we'll
keep
have
the block.
two. Get rid of this mountain. It's too large.
Now all of our zeros are +2 rituals, and we didn't draw any of them, but we do have Metamorphose.
I'm just trying to think of if there's a best way of doing this because we can actually replay. We can cast Ruby into Morphos, which then makes Act on Impulse 1 mana.
I would, before anything, just Morphos because it's free to
Okay,
get that information.
that's fair.
But yeah, Rubying
We could still
after
also Flashback Echo if we want.
we just get red.
Ooh, good draw.
Yes, we do have the echo.
Am I? Oh, hold on. I know
I would play.
you'll try to kill me if I try to cast Echo. So let's just play
Yeah,
Ruby Root at
don't
him.
play that yet.
No,
I
it
would
makes Act on
just
Impulse
cast
one
Horn.
mana. Actually, it makes
Yeah,
Act on Impulse free. There's a free
sure.
Act on Impulse.
I just want to get the horn into play and start pitching these redundant ancient tombs.
I'm gonna get your horn into play, but I want to cast spells too.
It would
Uh,
be very difficult to screw this up. We don't.
don't tempt me.
Does that count as like saying the thing that you shouldn't say?
I hope that this blanks so that way I'm allowed to cast Echo.
Right.
No.
Oh,
Uh,
just do it. Just cast the echo. You have all the rubies. You get all of them. What's nice is that Burning Wish
I
that
was
we
supposed to
exiled
discard that. My bad.
stays right there. No, at this
What's
point
the,
you're supposed to shattering spree for 4, 8,
so I know
9.
the real problem. You don't have it ignite memories in your board because like we might be able to 15 them.
Oh yeah.
Let's just seal the deal. Get the greatest card printed of all time. It's like commonly Black Lotus or Grape Shot that people talk about, and I think it's Grape Shot.
It's definitely between the two.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I don't think we change anything.
No. I mean, we could get surgical, but
I don't think that's very likely.
no, grape shot is bad enough in the main deck in this matchup. I think it's worth. Huh. Well then.
This is a keep.
Sure.
Sorry, I know that you're anti putting a Bergie on the bottom, but I think in this instance, it's fine.
Yes, we must. We can slam a grid through days. Or around days, rather. Hmm. Yeah, same deal. I would.
I think I still imprint the Bergie.
Um. I don't know. We can just hard cast.
It takes time.
Then,
I guess we're probably not going to win off like 2 cards.
right. If they counter grid. and then counter a Burgie. Like if they have double force, I'd rather have the Burgie left over.
That's fair.
Maybe they have an ancient tomb and they're considering letting it resolve. Or maybe they're trying to add 2+2.
Still coming up with 5.
Five.
I mean,
I
their
got 5.
username is just a dead giveaway. Like I called it. Like
Yeah.
that is show and tell player math. So, Tony, I doubt you've ever read any of my tournament reports, but back in the day, you might not believe this. You could play Magic in person, and when
Really?
at paper events, yeah, it was crazy. So when these paper events happened, I would play a game when I sat down from my opponents, and I'd try to figure out what they were playing based on their physical appearance, and I was usually pretty good about it. Like big guys with beards, it's like a 90% shot that they're playing Gristlebrand or Chalice.
So when you sit down with your opponent, they're thinking, why is this guy being a total judgy McJudgerton over here? He's just
Yeah, pretty
eyeballing
much.
me.
Usually they're like, you're a prick, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it's just who I am. But, it is what it is.
They're like high roll, and you're like, can I see what shoes you're wearing?
Well, at first I would say no, odd or even always. High rolls, like, people can cheat with that more often. Um, and I've seen some scummy stuff at events where people try to, you know, they don't give not even the die get a full rotation, that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's the worst. My brother does that. He'll just like drop it from an inch. It's like that is not a roll.
Yeah. So what did they pitch? Preordain.
Okay. What I found with this matchup is since we have the potential to be such a volatile combo deck. I'm sure this is the dynamic with this, any combo deck if you're trying to play Sneak and Show, is when they're pondering like this, they're forced to keep something like a Force of Will, regardless of even if there's garbage underneath it. So oftentimes they'll have like, they'll show and tell and put Sneak Attack into play, but they don't have anything to follow it up, and then you have some time.
Well, I don't think this person's playing sneak attack. I'm pretty sure there is Omni.
Right, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A plus B, because what they're looking for is A plus B and interaction. And
Well,
if they
A plus
ponder,
B for our opponent is J. That was a bad screening reference. I'm sorry. I'll stop interrupting you. You can talk.
but yeah, I mean A plus B and interaction. So if they have one of those and they're pondering to find the other one, but there's garbage underneath it, they are kind of forced to take it.
All right. They did not shuffle off either ponder.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just jam Bergie here. We don't song.
Horn, yeah, I agree.
Hey.
Heyo.
And we're not discarding because I feel like you're pretty unlikely to win off 2 reveals. Don't fucking kill me.
Well, they didn't have the interaction. They didn't shuffle. So maybe they're figuring they had time and they just have cantrips. I mean, here we go. This feels like a Hail Mary. At the same time, they could give us a little bit of trouble if they hit some interaction here. What's nice is they don't have anything to surgical.
I don't think that they board in surgical in this matchup. Like,
No.
usually these are Cunning Wish decks, so even if they have a surgical, it's a one of, and
Hmm.
I just don't think it comes in.
Sure.
All right, so it looks like we're getting a window.
Pitch that mountain. Got that mountain. Play that grid, right? Or you
Is
might as
it?
well pitch beforehand. Yeah. I mean, I think it's like 99% chance we're pitching all three of these cards anyways, but
Yeah. Ignite. I like
okay.
that.
Okay. So I think we just grid first. Okay.
I think they're casting Veil of Summer.
Which is fine.
There's an Ice Fang.
Nope.
It's Ice Fang.
Oh no!
You got me, and you added to my storm count.
Song it up. LED.
Too bad we don't have any reducers.
Yeah. It's okay. Come on.
Oh, yes! Yes, we're doing it!
Yeah.
I'm allowed to cast Echo, finally!
So we.
Wait, no, this isn't the free one. Ah, well,
But it's okay. We can crack for blue and then song.
yeah. That
We have enough to do it.
I need to play a land.
Do you?
Well, if I
3,
song, I end
4,
up losing
6.
blue. I have to play that.
Yep. You're right.
Finally, and it's relevant. Get out of here, Omni. You're a joke deck. Deck for clowns.
Oh no, we gave them 7 cards. Now we have 2 echoes in our yard, which is irrelevant.
Too many.
I would make Ruby the last thing if you're going to pitch it, because we do want to put one in play, right? And we got some. We got at least one. Okay, there's the LED. Yeah, just pitch that, Ruby.
Well, we could play it. Like,
Yeah, we have one, right? I mean, whatever.
no, I
It doesn't.
can't play it. Never mind. Never mind. That's wrong. We're actually a little short on mana there. I'm gonna adjust because we'll add 7. I guess I
mean,
can play the Ruby Medallion first. That's
we have
free.
another LED as well. Easy Street.
Infinite mana. Um, for what it's worth, not once this league do we need tendrils. Like, I just don't think the card needs to be in the board. Like, that could be an open board slot.
Yep. Well, especially since we have double grape shot.
We could get tendrils. I'm not going to. All
So
right.
I think
3-2. Let's look at the deck list.
Yep.
So the main deck felt pretty good. I don't think there was any glaring holes. I do wonder if 2 Islet could be right. It's not a huge thing. There was one game where the life loss was a little bit relevant. I think it was the first match. Like, this could be an open board slot. Like, almost all of this seemed good to me. Like, Tendrils is really that and Spree, but we didn't really face Chalice decks.
Right. I think our weak point right now is like D&T Maverick type decks. We didn't play what is kind of naturally tough matchups for us. A couple of the other combo matchups like Doomsday and Oops All Spells. But barring like, I don't know, jamming an extract in the board it's not always I don't think there's too much that we can do about that.
Yeah, and post-board the Doomsday decks go up to 7 forces, and they can board in an Oracle, so that's not even that good.
Yep.
And Oops is
But
just insanely fast.
yep. But having said that, I've stolen a lot of games against them. If you can steal game one, you're reasonably able to pull it off.
Yeah. So,
Because
I don't know.
we,
Like, I do think the Tendrils could probably be something else. That's the big
I
card I
agree.
have
I
here.
mean, that was one of the first things when we jumped on before we ran this league. I don't know if you remember me saying I've been really thinking about cutting this card at this point.
Yeah. Tony, where can people find you?
You can find me. Probably the best spot is on my Twitch. So it's just twitch.tv/TonyScapone. TonyScapone is one word.
I will
You can
link that in the
certainly find.
description below, by the way.
Yeah, please. You can certainly find me in the Storm Discord. There's a subsection specifically for Ruby Storm. I do have a YouTube that I am slowly, increasing the amount of content that I'm putting on there. So you can just search Tony Scapone on YouTube, find me, follow me there. But other than that, I mean, if you know me on Facebook, you can find me kind of lurking around the Leaving a Legacy. I should be coming on that cast, actually, not to plug someone else, but
Never support Jerry May, ever.
yeah, exactly. I shouldn't have done that. Scratch that. But yeah, I should be on that cast talking about Ruby Storm. And then I am working on it's basically just a giant article about my theory behind this deck. Kind of a primer of sorts. I'm about 5 or 6 pages in, but I look forward to publishing that. I don't know, Bryant, you can kind of talk about
Tony will be publishing that on theepicstorm.com.
Mm-hmm.
You like my car sales pitch there? Yeah, anyway. So, thank you, Tony, for coming on. I do appreciate it. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to Tony's Twitch. Tony's a great guy. Really good deck builder. This deck seems finely tuned. Definitely, Tony's pushing Ruby Storm forward to being more competitive. Somebody commented on it recently saying it's just TES that doesn't lose to Wasteland. I don't like that description. Come up with something else. That's very rude towards my mana base. That's very inconsiderate. But Tony's a smart guy. Make sure you support Tony's content. And thank you for watching.
Thanks.
Hey, Brian Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.